The author says here, rahimahullah, that's Ibn Hisham, Babul Mubtada'i wal Khabar. So they said subjects and predicates of nominal sentences. Okay. Yani, al-mubtada is singular. Khabar is also singular. They put it in plural in their translation. That's acceptable because what's meant by the singular in this title is the type. Of nominal sentences, correct. When we talk about mubtada and khabar, means a sentence that does not require a verb or a sentence that does not start with a verb. They're going to say in Arabic, a sentence that does not start with a verb. And this type of sentence does not require a verb. It is possible to formulate a sentence in Arabic without a verb by putting two nouns together, as we're going to see. You can still achieve isnad, the link, the sentential link between these two words so that they become a coherent meaning. A coherent meaning that is fine for the speaker to stop upon and does not leave the listener waiting. He said, Al-Mubtada wal-Khabaru marfu'an. They said the subject and predicate of a nominal sentence, Mubtada and Khabar, are nominative, correct, marfu'. كالله ربنا ومحمد نبينا. Such as in Allahu Rabbuna wa Muhammadun Nabiyuna. So, like we said before, I say just put the Arabic there. Yes, so what's that? Allahu Rabbuna. Allahu Rabbuna. So Allahu is mubtada, Rabbuna is khabar. Yes, but it is actually possible, since both of these are definite, it is possible that Rabbuna is mubtada and Allah is khabar. Rabbuna Allah. Or is it not possible here because of the lack of a proof? The lack of a proof that the second one should be the mubtada, because there's no proof here. How would one know? So, but Yani, had you switched them, then it would be valid. Rabbuna Allah, mubtada and khabar. And Muhammadun Nabiyuna, Muhammad is our prophet. In both examples, Ibn Hisham made the khabar and idafa. Here are his examples. He says, Allahu Rabbuna. And Muhammadun Nabiyuna. So as for the mubtada, it's clear. It's marfu'. Mubtada is marfu'. In the case of Muhammadun Nabiyuna, only the first dhamma is actually the sign of rafa, and the second dhamma is really a tanween. And in both cases, his khabar is an idafa because Rab is the mudaf and the damir, the pronoun na, is the mudaf ilayhi. Same thing, Nabi is the mudaf and the na, the pronoun, is the mudaf ilayhi. So the actual khabar, the most exact, precise khabar is just Rab. Rab is the khabar. And Nabi is the khabar. وهو مضاف. And it's a mudaf, this khabar. والضمير يعني ونا ضمير متصل. Na, though, is a suffixed pronoun. مبني على السكون. Built with a sukun. في محل jar. In the genitive slot. In the genitive slot. في محل jar. So what's the idafa? It is a compound noun, or it is like a compound noun. It is two words in reality, but they are working together like one word. Okay, he says, ويقع المبتدأ نكرة. The mubtada, the nominal subject, could fall, and it could happen to be indefinite. So they said the subject of a nominal sentence, the mubtada, may be indefinite. Yes. But Ibn Hisham, I would say, he's not saying it maybe, could be. He's saying his sentence itself is saying it will be. وَيَقَعُ الْمُبْتَدَأُ نَكِرَةً. The mubtada falls indefinite. Yes, though he did say in, if. But his sentence doesn't have this probable meaning here. Maybe or may means here can be. Maybe may here means can. Yani, it's valid. It's valid to be. The subject of a nominal sentence may be, yani, is valid to be indefinite. Then this fine. In amma aw khas. If, so Ibn Hisham said, in amma, if it is generalized, aw khassa, or specified. So they diverged from his structure. We came to know that that's how this is. So personally, I don't prefer that. If this is a translation, then I say follow the words of the author. Don't rearrange them. Or you could rearrange them, but then give it another title. Say, for example, the restructuring of, or uh, something like that. I'm not even saying that's a bad thing. I'm just saying so that it's closer to the words of the author. Because it will be that the scholars are arranging their information in a particular way. Someone like Ibn Hisham, for example, he knows the difference between mentioning all your categories together and then giving examples, and mentioning one category and giving an example, and mentioning another category and then giving an example. So what these translators did was they mentioned one category and gave the example, and they mentioned the second category and gave the example. That's not what Ibn Hisham did. So then it's possible that this is now taken out of the author's intent or diverts away from the author's intent. So the one who translates, I say, wants to put forth the intent of the speaker as much as possible. So Ibn Hisham said, in amma o khas, if it's generalized, or another word is broad. If it's broad, o khas, or if it's special. Could use other words too. Special means particular. But there's some words I'm trying not to cross here in my translation for the sake of other words. Yani, there's some words like specified, qualified, uh, and some other words also. These, not necessarily using them the same way. And then Ibn Hisham gave his examples. نحو ما رجل في الدار وإله مع الله. ولعبد مؤمن خير من مشرك. وخمس صلوات كتبهن الله. So he gave all his examples together. And he didn't split them. So the first example he gave, they said here, number one, it is generalized, such as that it applies to all members of a category or none of them. So that's from them. They did put it in brackets. Okay. Another option is to put in a footnote, but then maybe it's going to leave the translation so summarized, so few words that maybe seems unclear. So they wanted to put it right there in the line to make sure it's clear. Like ما رجل في الدار, and أإله مع الله. Or then Ibn Hisham went right to his other example. وَلَعَبْدٌ مُؤْمِنٌ خَيْرٌ مِّن مُشْرِكٍ, and خَمْسُ صَلَوَاتٍ كَتَبَهُنَّ اللَّهُ. Okay, so what's going on here? Ma rajulun fidda. First of all, what are we talking about? We're talking about how a mubtada could be nakirah, indefinite. And what he is saying has an implication. Meaning when he says the mubtada could fall indefinite in amma or khassa if it is broad or special. That's as if to say a mubtada won't be indefinite unless there's something that allows for that. So that sentence, as if he erased it, it's like he said, a mubtada won't be nakirah, won't be indefinite unless there's something that allows for that, and it would be indefinite if it is broad or special. Whenever I read the Metzin of Qatru Nada, I feel like he had a lot written. And he went and started erasing stuff, all extra. And he was condensing till he came up with this nice Metzin here. But Allah knows, it's only my feeling. I haven't heard. So a mubtada won't be nakirah in the first place, fundamentally, that is. That's why he's saying it would be nakirah indefinite if it's broad or special, meaning that's an exception. So before we look at the exception, let's take a look. So you wouldn't say in Arabic, rajulun akhun, for example. What's that supposed to mean? To someone, it means a man is a brother. Some person who speaks English translating in his mind. So he says, rajulun akhun. A man is a brother. This does not work in Arabic. That's saying a brother man, rajulun akh, a brother man. How come it works in English, doesn't work in Arabic? Because English has a verb. When you say a man is, this makes a big difference. A brother, now it is possible for the subject to be indefinite because of the verb. Oh, how's that? Yeah. Well, in English, you can't make a sentence without a verb in the first place. Yeah, you can't make a sentence in English without a verb in the first place. So how can you say it's working because of the verb? You can't have a sentence in English without a verb. Yeah, you cannot have a sentence in English without a verb. But because there is a verb, you are able to do this, is what it means. Because there is a verb, you are able to do this. That's why if you had a verbal sentence in Arabic, the fa'il can be indefinite. You can say, ja'a rajulun. No problem here. Ja'a, a man came. So a man, that's the subject of this sentence. The subject of a verbal sentence. There's no problem with this sentence at all. But rajulun akhun, a man is a brother, does not work as a proper sentence in Arabic. So what do? So you need to make one of these stronger than the other so that the scale will tip and you can know the subject from the predicate. Whichever one of these you make stronger is going to be the subject of the sentence. So if you say, Al-Rajulu, the man, Akhun is a brother, then that's a fine sentence now. Or if you said, Rajulun al-akh, Rajulun al-akhu, al-akh, stop on the sukun. Rajulun al-akh, now it means a man the brother is. Yani the brother is a man, but subject's in the back. A man the brother is. Now that sentence is fine. Okay. So one might say, okay, I see. So fundamentally, the mubtada, not the fa'il, the mubtada, the subject of the nominal sentence in Arabic, will not be nakirah. And one might say, I don't need to ask, could it be, is it possible to be nakirah? Because that's what Ibn Hisham's telling us now. So, okay, so Ibn Hisham is saying it could be nakirah, but needs something to make that work. Okay, so what makes that work? Ibn Hisham told us in amma or khas. If that indefinite word were broad so that it can encompass many things, or special so that it's limited in a way that you can pinpoint it and make it the subject. So let's see. He gave us examples. He said, like, Nahu ma rajulun fiddal, such as ma rajulun fiddal. So, rajulun, that's the mubtada and is nakira. And where's the khabar? If you remember our previous lessons, then you know we can say right now, fiddal is the khabar. And in reality, something else is the khabar. Fiddal is linked to something else that is the khabar in reality, a noun or a verb. Like mawjudun. Ma rajulun mawjudun fiddal. Oh, yujad. Ma rajulun yujadu fiddal. But since the meaning of the real predicate is mere existence, then we don't have to mention it. Nothing more than mere existence. Like, we're not saying he's sleeping, he's eating, etc., he's exercising. We're just saying he is there, existing there. Then we don't have to mention the word that refers to mere existence. The jar and the majrur will carry that meaning of existence. They are strong enough to imply the existence, so we don't have to mention that mere existence if there's no reason to. Not supposed to. But for convenience, we will say fiddal is the khabar. That's what the scholars say. Yani, as they say with the caveat. Rajul is the mubtada. Ma is harfu nafi. Negating particle. What happens when you negate the indefinite? What is the meaning of the negation of the indefinite? The negation of the indefinite promotes all-inclusive meaning, so it's broad. We learned that where here. ليس كمثله شيء. Shay is indefinite, something or anything, a thing, a thing. Not like him is a thing. Not like him is a thing. That means nothing of all the things, of anything that is a thing. It is not like him. So that's what happens when you negate the indefinite. It promotes all inclusive negation of whatever is included under the negated indefinite word. In the ayah here, shay includes anything that comes into existence. Hold on, please. Yes, Bismillah. So that's what happens here in this ayah when you negate the indefinite shay. In this sentence here, you are negating the indefinite rajul. Ma rajulun fid dar. Not a man is in the house. Could be a woman there though, or a boy. If rajul here means pubescent. And also, ilahum ma'allah. Another example, this saying of Allah Ta'ala. Ilahum ma'allah. A God with Allah? Impossible. So here's the indefinite word, ilah. It is the subject of this sentence because it's broad. What makes it broad is coming in the context of a question. A question is similar to a negation. In fact, this question is really a negation. The real meaning of this question is a negation. It means there is no God with Allah. No God is there with Allah. So then it was valid to be a mubtada because of its broadness. And then ma'allah is the khabar. Again, it's not the real khabar, but also another thing here. Another thing here, which is that is the example of the khabar that Ibn Hisham gave in these two examples the same? Ma rajulun fid dar a ilahum ma'allah. No, there's difference. The difference is that ma'a is not a harf jar. Fi is a harf jar. Can you tell me what ma'a is, please?
My is the um uh it oh my it I mean I know it puts the word after it and instead of majrur. So it's repeat the question. I'm sorry.
Yes. The question is, uh, I said ma'a is not a harf jar. What is it?
Uh it's
No, not atuf.
okay.
It is ظرف.
Okay.
Mansub. It's mansub here. The fatha is a sign of nasb.
No. No.
Yani, when we found the name Allah majroor here, there's only two ways a word, a noun, an ism is going to be majroor. Only two ways. Well, you could say three ways. But the third way goes back to one of the first two ways, which is either it's going to be because of a harf jar, like fi, or because of an ism. Because of an ism. Ism meaning it's going to be a case of idafa. This name of Allah here is mudaf ilayhi. Dharf is mudaf, and what's annexed to it is mudaf ilayhi. So it's majroor. So then two differences between these examples that Ibn Hisham gave. One is that the first one is an explicit denial, and the other is that these and the second one, so one difference is that the first one's an explicit denial, and the second one is apparently a question. Second difference is that the khabar in the first case is jar wa majroor. And the khabar in the second case is ظرف ومضاف إليه. يعني the ظرف is the مضاف.
No.
And both the jar and the majroor and the ظرف are linked to an omitted khabar. An omitted khabar that has the meaning of existence.
Could it be cone?
Anything that makes the sentence work.
Okay.
Yani كائن, for example, or yakunu, or kana, or wujida, or thabata, or thabit, or anything that works, that means existence. Yastaqirru. Okay. So he said, like ma rajulun fiddar and a'ilahum ma'allah, those are examples of broad indefinite words, or indefinite words that their meanings are broad, such that that permits them to be mubtada. The permitter of the mubtada in Arabic is called musawwir. Means literally mujawwiz, a permitter, a licenser. لا تكون النكرة لا يكون المبتدأ نكرة إلا بمسوغ. لا يكون المبتدأ نكرة إلا بمسوغ. Yes. The indefinite word will not be nominal subject except by what makes that flow. Yeah. And then he says, وَلَعَبْدٌ مُؤْمِنٌ خَيْرٌ مِّن مُشْرِكٍ وَخَمْسُ صَلَوَاتٍ كَتَبَهُنَّ اللَّهُ. What are these examples here? This is an ayah. وَلَعَبْدٌ مُؤْمِنٌ خَيْرٌ مِّن مُشْرِكٍ. من مشرك ولعبد مؤمن خير من مشرك. So the word abd is the subject here. A slave, a believing slave is better than a pagan. Indeed, a believing slave is better than a pagan. So al-waw ala hasabi ma qablaha, its position in the sentence depends on what's before it. Wal-lam waqi'atun, يعني اللام لام التوكيد للابتداء. لام التوكيد للابتداء. It's an emphatic lam for starting. Abid is mubtada. Mu'min is not. Yani adjective. Abdul mu'minun, believing slave. Khair is khabar. Min is harf jar. Mushrik is ism majroor. What makes this indefinite word flow as a mubtada? It's being specified, specialized. Because not any abid, it's a believing abid. This makes it limited. It narrows the scope. Being a believing abid narrows the scope of the abid, of the slave. Yani, a believing slave man is better than a free pagan man, a pagan freeman. A believing slave man is better than a pagan freeman. Walau ajabakum, even if he impresses you, that pagan. So it is the not specializing, the adjective specializing that indefinite noun that made the indefinite noun be able to flow as a mubtada. So abid is the mubtada and khayr is the khabar. So in English, you could say a slave is better. That's a valid sentence. The subject is indefinite and yani, the predicate is not definite. But in Arabic, you cannot merely say abdun khayrun as a sentence. Abdun khayrun, that's not a valid sentence. A a slave is better or a good slave. Yeah, that means a good slave. That's not a sentence. A good slave or a better slave. That's what that means there. It's not a sentence. Meaning here, when you remove this adjective, mu'min, and then the only thing is abid, and then you bring khayr, which was the khabar in that sentence when mu'min was there, then it became that the word abid was grabbing for the first thing it can get, as if it is grabbing the first thing it can get. And the first thing it can get here in such a construction is an adjective, not a khabar. The first thing it's going to latch onto in such a construction is an adjective. Abdun khair, a, a better slave. If you want that to be a khabar, you need to do something. If you want the word khair to be a khabar. Is this clear?
Yes, that last part, if you want the cover, because originally we said that cover, I mean, khayr is the cover.
Yes.
And so what happened here that was implied that we understood that was special in this, like you were just saying?
Yeah. So in the sentence, in the ayah, there's an adjective, makes all the difference. Mu'min,
No.
the introduction of this adjective made it valid for khayr to detach from abid in such a way that it could be its khabar and not its mere adjective.
Oh, yeah, I understand. Mashallah.
Mu'min is now its adjective.
No, no.
Abdun mu'minun khayr. But if we took away mu'min, then khayr is just going to fill the space of mu'min. Abdun khayrun. Now there's no khabar.
No, mafhum.
And then the hadith, خمس صلوات كتبهن الله. خمس صلوات كتبهن الله. 5 prayers, 5 of prayers. This is an idafa here. What's actually is the mubtada here? Khams. Khams is the mubtada. And the whole sentence here, katabahun Allah, is the khabar. And this mubtada is also a mudaf. And salawatin is mudaf ilayhi. The mudaf ilayhi, if you take it away, you're going to just have khams only. 5. Then it would be 5 Allah ordained. 5 what? Now so ambiguous. It is too ambiguous to be the mubtada. Rather, what's going to happen is just like what happened in the previous case. That if we remove salawat here, then khams is going to latch on to the first thing it can get, which is going to be a not. Then katabahun Allah is going to become not, the whole sentence. Khamsun katabahun Allah, 5 Allah ordained. That's not a sentence. 5 Allah ordained. That's a word with its description, its adjective. So by adding the mudaf ilayhi, then the mudaf ilayhi narrows the 5 by determining what those 5 are. Because 5 and numbers in general are inherently ambiguous. If you say, I saw 10 and I purchased 5 and I stepped on 12. So what are you talking about? It's all ambiguous, the numbers. So when we brought the mudaf ilayhi salawat, then it determined actually what the thing is, what kind of thing it is. That's a type of tamyiz there. That's tamyiz. Yes. So then it became valid for this nakirah, which is khams, to flow as a mubtada. And that's what Ibn Hisham mentions there about the mubtada. Right after that, then he goes to talk about the khabar. So, that's like a section finished. Any question?
No. So, just to recap, so if we say we use the harfu ta'rif, like we say al-rajul fi dar or fi the bait. So that is, here is the mubtada, and the shibhu jumla is the khabar.
Yes.
So there you have the exclusivity or the specificity of the man. And in the case of
by the definites.
By
the definites.
No. So the definite, I'm sorry, what'd you say? What's that?
It is the definiteness.
No. So the definiteness brings the specificity to that.
Yes.
To that. And in the case of him saying ma rajulun fid dar, it is a generality that is bringing like in this case of rajul, it is bringing like a even the generalness of it is bringing the exclusivity for no men at all. Like it's exclusive that it's no men in the house. That's what my
well, what I understand from it is that because it's not another, it's not a negation of women, it's not a negation of children, it's a negation of all men.
No, that's what I mean, that it is no man in the house. Like, so the no man in the house is in itself like confining, like the way that al-rajul, it is exclusive for that.
Yes.
Like, no men is the exclusivity. And the other thing is, so
but I'm not sure the best way to say this, because what you are saying means the broadness is the specificity, and that's
or the exclusivity. I mean exclusivity, like the exclusivity of that matter. Like a rajul fi dar, it is exclusive for the man. So ma rajulun fi dar is exclusive for no man.
Well, even al-rajul is valid to be the kind.
Okay.
That's valid to be the kind. And if you say ma rajul, that's the kind also.
No. I don't know if I'm expressing it what I understand. But what I understand is,
I think I understand what you are saying.
yeah, what I'm trying. Let me try to, because our time is. So
Uh-huh.
it is what my understanding here. I mean, just to clarify and recap, because I understand you explained it well, mashallah. The it is it is. I don't think I can't think of another word right now, but it is exclusive. The no manness, the
Mhm.
fact that no men. It is that is the exclusive matter, which makes it, even though it's indefinite, it
Yes.
is a definiteness to that matter. Is
Yeah. That's the determined. That's what's determined.
right. And then
The negation of all men. That's what's determined.
yes, and then the لعبد من مؤمن لعبد من لعبد مؤمن خير من مشرك. That one is that verse, mashallah. That verse is it is restrictive, but that restriction
Mhm.
is the uh,
Brings it closer to being definite.
yes,
That's what the scholars say here. They say the adjective in this case, which is a qualifier, the qualifier brings the definite word closer to being definite. So now it's strong enough to be a mubtada.
yes. Now I have a question بغير موضوع inshallah, but it's on this on a similar matter. Is it okay to ask?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, yeah, no, I understand that. Mashallah, jazakumullah khairan. I if we say, is it proper to say, like say we say someone is a sheikh. So is it proper to say a Sheikh Abdullah, or is it, for as an example, or is it better to say Sheikh Abdullah?
Well, in the Arabic, you're going to say ash sheikh.
Okay, that's what I understood.
But if you're speaking in English, then maybe you might not say ash sheikh.
Mm-hmm.
I say. So I haven't heard any rule here, but just speaking, what I'm
Okay,
inclined to do a lot of times to remove that. In my own mind, it's like saying, for example, Judge Fulan instead of the Judge Fulan or Officer Fulan or President Fulan without the on the front of it. Seems that yani, that's how it is in my own mind. Sheikh
okay.
Abdullah, Imam Shafi'i. But in Arabic, you will add the L.
So if I want to say it, would it be if I say, and say we're talking about Sheikh Abdullah himself, rahimahullah, say a Sheikh Abdullah Fidda or
Yes.
Bait,
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
we wouldn't say Sheikh Abdullah Fid.
No, not formally. No.
Right. Okay. And the last thing I wanted to ask is that we have, so the modern Arabic alphabet, it doesn't have Hamza in it. So we start off with Alif, Ba, Ta, Tha, ila akhiri. So why did they omit putting the Hamza in there? That's like a side question, but it's been bothering me. Like, and I know in the original abjad we have it, we say it. Why don't they put it?
But in the original, they didn't necessarily call it Hamza, though. They might have just still called it Alif.
Okay,
If they were to break apart the letters of Abjad Hawaz, probably they would say the first letter is Alif.
okay,
They
but
knew that if there's a haraka on the Alif, that it's really a Hamza. And the words Alif and Hamza are sometimes interchangeable, with the meaning that sometimes you're going to call, here, Bismillah.
well, I don't want to. I just wanted to ask because I know our time is up. I just, mashallah, I just, I
Uh,
said while you were there, I wanted to ask you because I knew you were very busy. So I don't know.
Sometimes when the Hamza is written on the Alif, you're just going to call this Alif. And if the Hamza, though, is written there, it's really a Hamza. But calling it an Alif is valid, and that's a majaz. It's like this letter. So they used to write Alif, and they didn't even have a a character for Hamza yet. This single character here, they knew that sometimes it is Hamza. And sometimes it's going to be a wow and sometimes it's going to be a yeah for those old Arabs. And they knew it was a Hamza also without writing the Hamza on there. And then later, when they invented the actual character for the Hamza by cutting off the head of an ayn, then they became more meticulous in naming it a Hamza as opposed to an alif. But even when this Hamza is written on the alif, they still might call it an alif. It's like this letter has an alias, or yeah, like can play two roles. It was like, yeah, he's someone who you call a superhero has alternate identity. So it might be alif, might be Hamza.
Okay.
Among those who talked about that is the author of Mukhtar as-Sahah. Mukhtar as-Sahah.
Okay. He talks about in the beginning of the book.
Yes.
Okay. I think you did Muqayyis. What is you started writing out the dictionary and you
Yeah.
started explaining that. Yeah.
There was I wanted to do a dictionary. I didn't finish. I only completed Babul Hamza. And in the beginning of there, I translated the talk of the author of Mukhtar as-Sahah. He
Okay.
talks about the Hamza and how's if it's an alif, unless it has a haraka, then it's a Hamza. And sometimes the Hamza is pronounced at full strength, and sometimes you can lighten it. And so he was breaking down its the how dynamic this letter is. Yani, some of them say it's the same letter. Some of them say alif and Hamza is the same letter.
Okay.
For them, it's like wow and yeah, meaning if you say low, low, so this wow here comes from your lips and it's not an extension letter. Whereas, when you say wudu, let's see, I should have started with this example. The first wow is not an extension letter. The second wow is an extension letter.
All right.
Some of them it's like that. Like also the yeah. If you say this first yeah is not an extension letter. This second one is an extension letter. So they say same letter. So for them, it's like that. For example, athab, athab. So even if we write without Hamza here, this first one, the Hamza, yani, the first letter is an alif, and the second letter is in this one here too, athab. So it's, to them, it's like that, same letter.
Mm-hmm.
It reached me that the majority of the Bisris say they're two different letters, alif and Hamza. So it's not clear, yeah. It's like something mutashabi here.
Okay. So the Bisris say that the Basaris, Bisris, then not the Basra, the other group, the
Kufis.
Kufis. Now they say something
Sure,
else.
what's their madhab? What do they say? Maybe they have detail or something. I don't know.
Okay, no problem. I don't want to. I just want to. I do understand, mashallah, this is a very beneficial class. I mean, all the classes are beneficial, but I appreciate you.
Yani Allah Ta'ala, sometimes when you look at some of the creations, you see Allah made something like a blend of things. It's like, is it this or is it that? Yani, or maybe, I mean, for example, look at the whale. This one, his shape is a fish. Yeah, we learned that it is a fish, but Allah gave him lungs and made him breathe under the water and give birth to live babies. They say it has milk. I don't know. And look at the plant. It's like an inanimate thing, but it grows and it blossoms. It's like, in being inanimate, it's like a stone, but it grows and blossoms like a creature, like a living thing. Yani Allah, sometimes, for example, maybe someone would be born as hermaphrodite and you don't know is he male or female. Subhanallah wa bihamdih.
MashaAllah. Yeah, subhanAllah. I mean, this whole class is beneficial. I mean, the beginning, you made it very clear. Allah bless you. And I didn't mean to switch subjects too fast. I'm
No, no
sorry.
problem.
I just, that part was clear, and I know we were constricted on time, so I appreciate it. Excuse me if I shifted too fast on that.
ليس مشكلة.
Subhanallah. Barakallahu feek. Thanks for your patience.